As a dramatic contrast to the power-hungry leaders in the kingdom of man, what became of some of Jesus' followers, the servant leaders in the kingdom of God? Most of the disciples were simple tradesmen with little money. They were the local boys with no formal training. But something lit them up to travel the world, telling people about Jesus. Something so transformed them that they spent the rest of their lives telling anyone who would listen the gospel story. And because the good news was so often a threat to the leaders who were in power, the disciples were often treated just the way Jesus had promised. That is to say, they were loved by the people, but feared by those in power. Earlier in the Gospels, as Jesus was leaving for his final trip to Jerusalem, he said to his disciples and the crowd that was following him, "If anyone would come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. And whoever wants to save his life will lose it. But whoever loses his life for me and for the gospel will save it. What good is it for a man to gain the whole world, yet forfeit his soul?" Mark 8:34-36. Jesus told it like it is. There would be a cost to being a disciple of Jesus. That cost might be the loss of luxury, or the loss of friends, or even the loss of life. Now, according to the kingdoms of man, success in life is defined by gaining what the world has to offer. We've all heard the phrase, "He who dies with the most toys wins." But Jesus was blunt. He taught the exact opposite in the kingdom of God. He said that you can conquer the whole world and still lose out on what's most important. This is what drove the disciples. They had been transformed by the life of Jesus. They believed his teaching and his commands. And they knew that their reward was not of this world. Their reward had eternal significance. So, despite the cost, they were willing to leave their home and travel the world to share the gospel message. Within decades of the crucifixion of Jesus, his closest followers went from disciples in hiding to bold proclaimers of the gospel accounts. None of them backed down, and many of them gave their lives for their eyewitness testimonies. Because of their love for each other, their love for others, their sacrifices, and their personal testimonies, the Christian church gained a strong early following. The four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, were proclaimed throughout the world. And the four Gospel writers became the most widely read historians in history.